Welcome to the Sweet Spot Podcast, where we're all about helping players, coaches, and parents get the most out of the game. Whether you're stepping up to the plate, coaching from the dugout, or cheering from the stands, we got you covered with expert tips, strategies, and insights to make youth sports a better experience for everyone. Each episode, we'll share our own experiences and bring on special guests who will offer valuable advice on skill development, teamwork, and creating a positive environment for growth both on and off the field. So let's dive in and make the game even sweeter.
Play ball.
Welcome to another episode of the Sweet Spot Podcast. Thank you for joining us. I'm here once again with
Dalen.
And we're flying solo today.
We are flying solo. I've gotten good feedback on the shows that we've done by ourselves. A lot of the people have come back and said that,
Same.
They've really enjoyed them. I guess it's because we get to kind of just throw it out there and, not ask so many questions, but be the ones to give answers. Esa corneta fue para ti. Yeah. That was
a very loud.
That was very loud. It was very loud. Who knows what's going on?
That gotten picked up by the audience.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Oh, whatever.
Sure. We'll
it's a
be
great
right.
way to start.
Great way to start. Great
What
way
do you
to
want to
start.
talk about? The guy on the back of my jersey or?
Dontra, what is?
No, mijo. The back of my jersey. Ripken.
Oh, sorry, I saw the back and...
Oh, no. D-Train?
Yeah.
We can talk to him.
No.
Ripken.
Oh, yeah. So we wanted to talk today about our experience with Ripken. I want to highlight the fact that Coach Albert was unable to make it. So he had FOMO the entire time. As you could see, my man finally had his surgery.
Which, by the way, like 2 weeks ago, I couldn't even raise my leg like this. So
yeah, so he's progressing through it.
Brutal that I wasn't able to go. I was very much looking forward to it.
Yeah.
But I got to see some good pictures and videos.
There's a lot of baseball left, so you'll get your time.
I'll be back.
You'll be back. You'll be back. But yeah, we just wanted to talk about that experience. Again, that was something that we've been planning for a really long time. So just wanted to kind of tap into.
We'll tell the audience what the Ripken Tournament is.
Yeah, so the Ripken Tournament, we decided they do it in a couple of different locations. There's Myrtle Beach, there's Orlando. We decided to go to Pigeon Forge. It's an absolutely great experience. I mean, the amenities, the fields, just everything. I think that part of the greatness of it that we got to experience was just going with a great group of parents, great group of kids. We had an amazing time. Again, when you don't win a tournament, sometimes it kind of bothers you because that is the goal, what you're trying to achieve. But, just the fact that we went with great people and it was just a great vacation, it was just absolutely, great experience, I think, for the kids, for the parents, for the coaches, for everybody involved. So I wanted to kind of give some highlights
you're going to have to debrief me because we haven't really had a chance.
I know, since you weren't there. So we actually, ironically enough, we kind of extended the trip a little further. So we started off heading out to Atlanta. The Angels were playing the Braves at the time. So, took off a couple of days before. So got to spend some time, with the Angels, seeing a couple of the games.
How was that experience?
It was great. We could touch base on that particular experience. A lot of things that, you witness there from, the things that go on a major league level. The good, the bad, the just how things operate. But it was a great experience. It was great for the kids. We were able to get the entire team on the field, so the kids had a blast. They were there, during BP, just on the field talking to the players. Thank you again to Zach for making it happen. Can't say enough what a great human being he is. So, we did that experience, had a great time there, and then we decided to. Again, this was before the trip. We decided to head out, from Atlanta, drove out to Nashville. Again, I know we're at a different date right now, but we spent 4th of July there. So spending 4th of July in Nashville with a bunch of kids was an experience. Was definitely
like the
definitely
fireworks,
an experience. Listen, I've been to Nashville before, and Broadway they leave it open, and you see they literally closed the entire freaking street. Like it was security in and out. So again,
how did they behave?
I think the kids were a little bit shocked with we were able to get them into some bars. So, but again, it was a good time.
Any names, but they got into bars?
Well, there was up to a certain time, like
Right.
you're able to do it, right? Like it's no different than going, anywhere.
But they enjoyed it.
They definitely enjoyed it. Yeah. The live music, like at first they're like, what are we doing here? And then it was like, oh, I kind of like it
here.
Yeah. And then obviously when they all kind of get together. So again.
And the parents were great, man.
Yeah. Listen, to administer, man, it was 60 something people, right? To kind of administer all of that and everybody have a good time from beginning to end is hard, right? It's very, very difficult. But again, it just goes to show the great group that is involved with that team, with that group. And that's where I think the culture of Sweet Spot kind of begins, with them. And I can't say it enough. It's, anybody that joins us, that is our culture. This is our culture. And it starts with the parents. And, one of the things that we've discussed is, hey, what happens if other parents come in and they're used to something else? It's like, no, this is our culture. Like they will adapt to our culture because it's what you feed them.
Mm-hmm. And it starts at the top.
It starts at the top. And I think, again, we're doing a pretty good job. Those of you out there, if you want to come check it out, you feel like it fits what you're trying to do for your kid. Our doors are open. But again, it is that culture. I think by all these episodes by now, people should know what we're about and what we're trying to do. But this one in particular, again, just covering, the experience with Ripken, and then we'll tap into some of the stuff that I think I got to witness and experience. And I think it continues to motivate me to dive deeper into other things that I'm realizing with the boys.
So I was able to catch, obviously, some of the videos and pictures that, you and some of the other parents were sharing.
There was a lot.
Oh, no, it was a lot. So I didn't see all of them, and I was able to watch part of some of the games live. And I wanted to get your, boots on the ground, debriefing. How did the boys, no como la pasaron, but how did they do? How'd you see the team?
Yeah, so I'll give a rundown of how, again, I
by the way, I'm asking all these questions for the first time because we really haven't had a chance.
No, we haven't really had a chance to talk. I'll go back to give an explanation of how the whole process works, because I know that there's going to be a lot of people that, there's many people that within our organization that want to know, because when it's their time to go, like they want to know what it was like and all of that. So I'll give an explanation of how the whole process worked, and again, from beginning to end, like the way that they handle it. Our guest speaker was Billy Ripken himself. Phenomenal. And, from the first time that
he's hilarious.
He is beyond hilarious. Like he met with the coaches and he said, look, don't record me. What you see on MLB Network and all of that is the PG version of what I am. But I'm going to give you the full throttle. So he was, absolutely like dynamic. Like I was not expecting that at all. Just so much energy, talking about experience. And then he opened it up to, people asking him questions. And, I was able to get in a question, ask him about, the competitive nature, telling him, how my kids compete, for them. and then how it was with what he calls a golden boy. So he kind of explained that obviously it was for themselves. And, you know, the way he responded was like, yeah, we always competed, you know, my dad pushed us, and, you know, he's like, I always knew that I couldn't do the things that Kyle could do. And my dad told me that. And I knew that, but we found a way to kind of push each other. He's like, the great thing about Kyle is that, you know, him being older than me, sometimes we would play, you know, pick up whatever. And he's like, what he did as a sibling, as the older sibling, was amazing, because even if I wasn't the best, even if I was the smallest or whatever, I was always his number one pick. So that kind of resonated, and I talked to him a little bit about it after. And he's like, 4 kids. Oh, yeah, I remember those days. So, yeah, it was, you know, pretty cool. And you know, I continue to tell my kids, obviously I have the dynamic of one being older and then the little one, and they're always competitive, so they're always kind of fighting. But yeah, at the end of the day, you know, that older sibling just taking responsibility and taking care of his little brother, that's special. So yeah, he opened up about that, and you know, it was fun. So then after that, we had that same day, it was the skills competition. So they put you, I mean, again, when we went, we're talking about 60 something teams, right? We did a parade of all the teams, and then everybody kind of broke out into a skills competition. We did home run derby. So coach pretty much picks out a player, and you throw BP to that kid. You have about, I think it's a minute. I think there's.
How was throwing BP?
It was great. Actually, I could put some video, because I have the Meta glasses, and I turned them on when I threw the BP, so I could share that.
Did you got a little?
No, it was fine. It was fine. I'm getting ready for Major League Home Run Derby.
Got it.
Yeah. Somebody has to make it at some point, right? Mm-hmm. Listen, I can't see Kyle Riley's dad just taking all the credit, and all these dads and all of that. Somebody's got to give me an opportunity.
Your time will come.
But I'm pretty sure my daughters will probably like take over and be the ones to throw BP. So
fact,
I'll be left behind.
Yeah. You may catch.
Yeah. Maybe I might not even get invited at this point. I mean, who knows? Who knows? Yeah. So then the other competitions were relay from the outfield. So they'll get, you know, like
the old school Tommy Mansky relay.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. So they'll get a cone out there. They'll get a left fielder. So left fielder goes, runs, grabs the ball, throws it into the cutoff, and then throws it to the catcher. Once the catcher steps on home plate, then the right fielder goes, does the same thing, relay back to the catcher, and then they stop the time. Again, turf fields. So for those of you going out there, if you want to get an advantage, anything overthrows are not good, right? Yeah. So I told the kids, just, hey, long hop everything. Boom. If you keep it low, you have a chance. So that's what they did. We had one overthrow, and it was the last throw of the second time around. And everything we were popping, and then that one overthrow, but you know, it happens. And that's where you kind of like tell them and prepare them for that. And then tell them, hey, overthrows are not good. And then when you have the overthrow, it's like, hey, this is why, right? Like, this is what, you know, so it's kind of like that teaching moment. And then you have a turn 2 skills competition. So you get a third baseman, shortstop, second baseman, first baseman, catcher, and pitcher. So you gotta go to the third baseman, 5-4-3, then you go 6-4-3, then 4-6-3, and then you go 3-6-1.
Okay.
Right. So the pitcher comes over, and then once it goes back to the catcher, then the time stops. You know, my competitive nature kind of took over, and I was hitting BBs at all of them. Like, I had to get the ball. I had to get the ball into them faster. Right. So like my first one was a line drive to the third baseman. Carlos, I'm sorry, buddy.
Oh my God.
And then the next one was...
Hang on. Did other coaches do the same?
I don't think so. I don't think so. But I was like fired up. I'm like, let's go. And then hit one.
I mean, at least you're not going to get bad hops. It's turf.
I mean, I don't even know they ever got a hop. I'm talking about, right? So, yeah, I got my adrenaline kicked in a little bit. And I told them, I'm like, hey, middle infield, I'm going to make it easy for you. Even though you got to start at a cone, I'm going to hit you closer to the bag. It's just going to be a flip. So, Carlos, I kind of blow one by Carlos. I think it was just like a straight line drive. Then the next one, Dylan didn't even see it. It was like, he's like, I was like, okay, maybe I got to tone it down a little bit. Because again, you're hitting it hard, the turf.
Yeah, it's kind of
right. So yeah, it was good. It was we had a good time. So those are the 3 skills, and you also do like a photo option for the team that came out really nice. And then when it comes to that's that day, it's a long day, but certainly a lot of fun. And then when you go back the next day, you'll either play a doubleheader or a single game. So you end up playing 5 seeding games within 3 days. So you play 2 doubleheaders and 1 day that's a single game. So for the Monday when we actually started playing, we ended up getting 1 game, but it was like at 2:00. So we were able to do kind of a couple of things early. And then both of our double headers started at 8:00. So it was 8:00 and then 10:15 by, not even 1:00. We were out of the park and ready to go, and have some fun. Again, that the area there is very, very nice. If nobody's been, or the people that haven't been, it's really, really nice. There's a lot of things to do, a lot of good restaurants. There's places for the whole team to kind of come together. We went to
so we're going back.
Maybe not with this team. We'll go back with other teams because we had such a great experience. Again, I can't tell you enough. The personnel, whether it was full-time staff or interns or whatever, everybody was very, very helpful. As a team, we ended up getting like the picture package. So, I mean, the amount of pictures that all these parents have is
making memories, man. That's great. I love that.
It's crazy. So, again, of every kid, there's like hundreds and hundreds of pictures. I think, we did a very, very good job. We took 13 kids. So we did a very good job in organizing the whole setup where we only hit 11 each game. And we sat 2 kids pretty much out. So what we did with those kids, it was we put them in to run.
Okay. Yeah,
we put them in to run. So I think the way we spread it out was as fair as could be. One of the things I want to touch base on was, again, having that in mind. And I think it takes a group of individuals that are prepared and ready to commit to that game plan. Because you are going to get into certain opportunities where it's like, hey, game's on the line. You probably want to put in your dog in there, but you've committed to doing this, right? So you have to have that true commitment. And we did that. And I think that, the return was, I could sit here right now and tell you that the return was amazing, right? Because we ended up having to put kids in pressure situations that they've never been in before.
And that if things were being done differently, they would have never gotten that opportunity,
right? And I think that happens a lot. And the even better outcome was that those kids that have never really been in those situations got put in those situations, and they produced and they were able to succeed. So that's what you want to see, right? Like, not only, and again, I would have been perfectly fine if I would have put them in those situations and they would have failed, because it's part of what we're doing, right? It's just giving them that opportunity so they could learn after. But just having them be put in that situation and come through, and then seeing that confidence just build.
That's what I was going to ask you. Did you see?
Oh man, Albert, that was that was phenomenal. Just
Cuidado
from seeing the parents, just like the kids, like yeah, I'm doing this. That's one of the things where I kind of have said the comment, right? Like you see the success. So now those kids that see the success have the confidence, have been pushed by mom and dad, and all of a sudden they're like, man, I like this. I enjoy when I succeed, right? They've never had that opportunity. They've never really experienced it. So when you do see them experiencing it, bug turns on, right? We talked about the bug, right? They get hit by that bug,
and now it becomes an internal drive.
Exactly. So now it's not mom and dad pushing me to go do it. Now it's like, I want to do
coach.
It. Yeah, or coach. But still, at the end of the day, mom and dad take you, right? Like they set things up for you.
Now it's
like, hey, mom and dad,
my bag ready.
Let's go. Come on, let's go. And that's where you see, I think, that growth. And I expect a quick growth for some of those kids, and I couldn't be happier. I know
who you are, by the way. That we discussed.
Yeah. Some of those kids, it's just it's a delight, right? Because you just see, their faces, their facial emotions, and just the way that now they're going about their business. It's completely different players. So I couldn't be happier. Again, just to rundown of everything that happened. We got to the bracket games. We make it to the gold bracket. They'll have a gold and a silver. We made it to the gold bracket, played an elimination game. Amazing game. It was a really, really good game. Ended up losing 3-1. Again, minor little details. One of the things we did that we started incorporating was
it a morning game?
It was an afternoon game.
Okay.
We ended up playing like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, around there, 5 o'clock game. So one of the things we did was after the last seeding game, we ended up going whitewater rafting. So the whole crew just went. Again, I'm glad that we ended up getting our elimination game later on, because we couldn't blame it on, hey, we went whitewater rafting and then we had an early morning game. So I'm glad that worked out that way. But that was another great experience we did as a team. Sorry, I'm going back. We had a nice team dinner, place called Dick's something. It was interesting. Like the waiters they get like, they're not friendly. Like they just say like random stuff and they treat you terrible.
Okay.
And all of that. So it was like a fun experience. And imagine going with a bunch of kids and throwing spitballs.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Napkins flying from left to right to table. And then they put like these things with like names on your head. And I can't say some of the stuff that were on those. It wasn't even PG for the kids. It was just like out
massively
of control,
inappropriate everywhere.
And a lot of parents have to do a lot of explanations on what those had said. And I told them from the beginning, I'm like, Baba, go to mom and dad, because I am not going to have this conversation with you. I am not psychologically prepared to, be the one to have this conversation with you. So again, I'm not going to name any of them.
You'll see some pictures.
Yeah, off camera. Yeah, we can talk about it.
That is great.
We could talk about it. So that was another great experience. Again, going back to the game, great game. We ended up doing something a little different. We got a little more technology with what we were doing. We got the one-way communication. Talk to the catchers. That worked out pretty good. The fact that I'm able to use that for development and getting them
accustomed to it. We're going to see it later
and an understanding of, hey, this is what, my coach is in my ear, like things that I see, like them relaying back, like, hey, he's close to the plate, he's far from the plate. Like those little dynamics now are in play, right? Because I could talk to him even in between pitches. Like there's times that I'd be like, hey, go talk to him. And then as it's not a mound visit for me, right? Like I could tell him, hey, be a leader, talk to your pitcher and tell them this, right? So now next time they do it, now when I'm not there, it's like, hey, these are the types of things that I need to be telling my pitcher, my infielders,
Right.
Some information that I was able to relay. So I think that was a good experience with that. I think that, the maturity level was there from them. I'm telling you, the kids were on every single pitch, which those are the things that you look for.
Did they get, I don't know, shaken up it being a different venue?
I think the fact that another thing that we did was, the reason that I say that the skills day was a long day was we had to be there, coaches had to be there super early. And then we had the meeting, then we had the parade, we had the skills competition. And then after that, it was already like 4:00, 4:25, and we had a team practice. So we rented a field for team practice. So they were able to really see the hops, and we had a lot of ground balls, a lot of, I think it gave them a little more awareness on playing on a field that they're not accustomed to. So I think that helped them out a lot, because they were already kind of like prepared. And we had a game plan. Hey, this is what we need to do. This is how we got to execute. This is how we get an advantage over the other teams. And I think, by the most part, they stuck to it. And I was very, very happy with where we're at now, right? Which is, again, taking those leaps little by little.
So where do we, as an organization, where do you think we go from here? What should we tackle next?
So I talked a little bit about it in the last episode with when we had Dylan on. I think some of the stuff that I've been thinking about come from, hey, the development is there. We're going to continue to develop. We're going to continue to bring in certain people that are going to help these kids physically get better. Where do we separate ourselves from everybody else? I think is the mental part. The mental part, and again, as we continue to learn, as we continue to see things, I continue to learn that these kids need to be told a lot of times, like, how good they are. You got to reiterate to them, that instilling that positive reinforcement. And then when some of those things click, that's how I said it. Those are those moments where you see that growth. And
you speak life into them.
You do. So that when you look at it, and I had again conversations with parents as well. It's, how do we go back and make sure that these kids love the game? And that's where I'm at mentally myself, making sure that no matter what, we are there to make sure that these kids either fall in love with the game, because some way, somehow, nobody has shown them how to fall in love with the game, or they stay loving the game for as long as possible. And I think, again, that separates us, what we're trying to teach, what we're trying to do, where it's not about winning and losing. Love can move mountains, right? I think love is something very, very powerful. If you love something enough, you're going to continue to pursue it, whether it's in a relationship, whether it's in your career, whatever it is that you love, you are going to continue to push for that.
And that drive is,
drive becomes easier.
internal.
And
it's internal.
So one of those things that like I said, it was, I spoke to them and I told them, hey, I just want to make sure that you guys continue to understand that if you love this, there is a way to live some of the things that you're going to live in your life, but always love what you're doing. And I think that's where we're at. Again, the development's going to happen. We're all in on the development, but making sure that all those little details mentally that these kids need right now, whether it's 6 years old or 13 or whatever it is, leading up to, hey, when we kind of hand them off to somebody else, it's full of love for the game. And I think there's a right way to do it. And if you want, we could talk about some examples, some of the things that I've been thinking about. But I don't know. How do you feel about love of the game? This episode is brought to you by Grass Reyes and Associates. Grass Reyes and Associates is a law firm focused solely in the area of family law, handling cases such as divorce, paternity, child support, alimony, prenups, and more. You may know who you marry, but you don't know who you divorce. Having experienced lawyers on your side could be the difference between a fair settlement or a financial disaster. Call us to learn more about your rights. 305-271-5008. 305-271-5008.
I mean, me personally, from a very early age, the love was there, and I was fortunate enough growing up to be able to be allowed, primarily by my dad, to continue my own experience with the game, and he didn't really intercede all that much, and he allowed me the room and the space to do it on my own. And the coaches that I had, same thing. And, some were phenomenal. Some were, I feel, lacking in certain places, but the love for the game is essentially what brought me back to coaching. And I want to be able to pass that down, or at least be able to guide these kids on that journey of being able to apply everything that they're learning from the game, while continuing to have that fervor and that passion for baseball. And I think that for the most part, since we started this venture, I honestly feel that we've been able to instill that in the guys. And I think the feedback that I've gotten from the parents is it's a good one. And I'm very appreciative of the parents and of the players as well. And I think that moving forward, we'll get even better at everything that we're doing, because as we said from the get-go, we're on you're seeing everything. We're being very transparent, and the ups and the downs, and I think that we're in a good place and in a good trajectory more than anything.
I think that, if there's something that I've learned from coaching youth sports, youth baseball, is that all the little details matter, right? Like all these little details that either we put forth or we pay attention to because they're relaying them to us, they matter, and they bring something out that is noticeable, right? And I think paying attention to those details and making sure that all those little things are working correctly is what's going to keep the kids loving the game and in the game, right? And again, there's we talked about it from the first episode. Baseball and life go hand in hand, right? Loving the game and the things you love in life go hand in hand. Learning from the hardships of that love are going to make you stronger in life. So again, I think it's essential. I think that the way that we're doing it is I think it's the right way, right? I think it's the right way. I think that we see a lot of times people that, we see a lot of time people that, have major league careers, and all of a sudden they get to a point where it's like, I'm done. I'm retiring because I just don't love it anymore. I don't. Maybe they never did. Maybe they were just pushed and they were just so good and they got pushed to a certain level where they made it. They thought they had this dream and they fulfilled the dream, and then they're empty. They're empty. So where do we go where it's, you know what? And I've seen it and I've said it before. The group of kids around one another, the way that they interact, the way that they care for one another, and you see it. And I have plenty of videos to show it to you. These kids, somebody makes a play and and everybody is as excited as if
As
it
the
was
guy that made it. Mm.
right. And just the care for one another. Those are things that we are instilling, right? Not by winning, right? If you get and again, you're free to do whatever you want. But my belief is if you get a group of, let's say, great athletes, great players at the moment, put them together, and each of those little players, right, has been told so many times how good they are, right? That they're the best, right? And now you're bringing them together to form an ultra high competitive team that is going to beat everybody, right? Because you're chasing wins and losses. You're chasing wins. Now, all those kids think that they're the best player, right? Am I wrong with what I'm saying? Right? So if every one of those kids thinks that they're the best player, are they going to root for the guy next to them that is also being told that they're the best player by mom, dad, coach, or whoever's around them? Is that the right path to building the best human being and the best
Teammate later down the line?
Friendships, the way they interact, just and those are the tiny little details that I care about, right? I care about all those little details because I know that those little details are going to make every single one of those kids that I have around the best human beings that they could be.
And I mean, I know that you feel the same way. I care about winning. I'm very competitive, but to me, and I feel to us, to what we're trying to accomplish here, the more important part is building that human being through the game. And, the wins come eventually. And the rings and the banners and all that stuff, it comes. But that's not the end all be all. So I honestly, there's a path for everyone, and there is you have free will, and you can do with it what you want, and we're doing what we think is the best to develop these kids with the long vision. So we'll keep at it, and we'll continue to do what we're doing and catalog everything. And
let me ask you this. Aren't these kids winners?
Absolutely.
Right? Like no matter what, right? Aren't they winners though if they could pick up a phone when they're feeling whatever they're feeling and call their teammate and be like, hey, I need you. Right?
And they're doing it. And they're
going to do it. They're going to do it.
Yeah.
Right?
They're already doing it.
They're going to do it. Yeah. And when you go back, another example that I talking to parents, I said is you have your career, right? You have a salesman, right? Let's just use that as an example. Same job title, same amount of sales, same salary, right? There's what defines when a guy comes home or one of them comes home and says, hey, I love what I do. I want to keep at it. I'm going to keep pushing. Yet the other person comes home and says, I want to quit. I don't care. All those variables are the same. So what is it that changes the mentality? What makes you love your job and what makes you hate it? And it has to be the surroundings. It has to be those people that you're with all the time, right? That make you feel comfortable with what you're doing and push you because you know that you being pushed and you excelling is going to help them out. And they are actually going to be rewarded and reward you back because mutually care about each other.
That external interaction is key. I also believe that the internal drive that we've discussed about is also as imperative, because if you're not, motivation is fleeting. And we've discussed this in the past. You can be motivated for 3-4 days, 3 weeks, a month, whatever. But the discipline is what's going to keep you at that level. And the only way to have that discipline, which is the long-term attribute that actually makes the difference over time is the internal drive. Because if you're being influenced externally, yeah, it can give you motivation, but it's not going to give you the discipline. The drive has to be internal. And when we, translate that into what we're doing in this season or this phase of the kids, it's, if you fall in love with the game, dude, you're going to want to go to practice. You're going to want to take the extra reps. You're going to want to do the hitting coach. You're going to want to do the extra, the extra sprint, the extra, push up, whatever it is.
Yep.
So, and obviously being a good teammate goes a long way, because now you're building a community of guys or athletes, girls, that they understand the dynamic of a team. And the vast majority of jobs, the vast majority of careers, it's teamwork, man.
100%.
And you can be the best of the best, but
100%.
if you're, a round peg and what you're doing is you're supposed to be a square, the round peg's not gonna go into the
Square hole.
the square hole.
Not gonna happen.
So come on, we're good.
I think we're good, man.
I gotta go to PT, bro. Ron's waiting for me. Or Richie's waiting for me.
How are you feeling?
Well, this has been, I'll open up a little bit. This has been a very big life lesson. I think I finally understood the concept of actually listening to my body. This happened because I didn't listen to my body. And that's something that I'm gonna, now that I'm going through this, tell the kids, because you want to avoid injury.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're in tune with your body, you're going to be able to, So hindsight, I had done very heavy legs and I ended up playing pickleball for 4 hours. Quads were already very fatigued. And about halfway, my left quad, I don't think I told you this, like 2 hours into playing, left quad cramps up. What should I have done?
Stop.
Should have stopped.
It happens. We live and
I
we
didn't.
learn.
Play 2 more hours. Simple lateral movement.
And now you haven't been able to play for months.
Yeah. So it's been, today's 6 weeks post-surgery. I've been going to therapy 3 times a week. I mean, I've said it before. They're really phenomenal. And I've done therapy in other places, nothing against other places, but this has been an incredible experience to this point. From Ron, Richie, Victor, Alex, everyone there is exceptional.
Yeah.
And I have that internal drive to get back to where I was before the injury. So I've also learned how to dial it back during PT so that I'm not, overdoing it and stuff. So progressing.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah, man.
Good stuff. It's part of the journey, right?
Yeah.
We continue on it.
I'll make sure to wrap myself in bubble wrap for 6 months leading up to the next
please.
Ripken Tournament.
I mean, please. All right, thank you guys. It's been a good one. I like this one.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Awkward handshake or
2 fingers? Thank you guys. Hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Like, subscribe, comment below. Hope to see you next time. Thank you.